Hi, and welcome to 1911 University with Chambers Custom here. I'm Joe Chambers, and I'm bringing you another mathematical review today. This one is of yet another Wan Desson. This is a V2 version, if you will, of the last Wan Desson that I did. It's a lightweight Commander in 45. The previous one I did was a full-size, lightweight in 45, and I really like the guns. They're very nice looking. The cosmetics, the aesthetics of them are very clean. I love the grips. The checkering is nice. Before we get into this, let me remind you as we go through the numbers that this is a sample of one gun. May or may not be indicative of all the ones that you may see from this maker, or may not be indicative of the one you may buy from your local gunsmith, your gun store. But it's important to remember that because these companies all have different tolerances that they work under. With that, let's get into the review. Remember, math don't lie. 3.14 is always pi. All right, so here it is. It's a very nice, clean looking gun. It's got beautiful grips on it. I love what they're doing with their grips. They have a company called Hogue making these for them. It's got a abbreviated grip safety. The grip safety, the mainspring housing, and the frame are all made of aluminum, so it's a very lightweight gun. I did shoot this gun today. This gun came to me brand new in the box by my friend Scott, who's actually sitting down in the shop right now. He bought it. He paid $1,500 retail for this gun, and he brought it to me. We measured it today. We shot it, and now I'm doing video. So general impressions of these guns, I like them. They're cool guns. They're reasonably priced for what you're going to get. They have really nice trigger pulls. The trigger pull on this, we'll get to the weight in a little bit, but it's extremely clean and crisp. It feels lighter than it actually is. They're relatively accurate. My only complaint about this particular gun as a whole was that when we shot it, it was extremely snappy. It had a 16-pound recoil and a 23-pound mainspring in it, and it has a no radius or very minimal radius firing pin plate in it, and it was almost unbearable to shoot this gun in that configuration with 45 hardball. So what we did was we swapped the recoil spring out to an 18-pound spring, and that tamed it down quite a bit. So if you get one of these, if I were to buy one of these myself, that's what I would do. I would put an 18 or a 20-pound main recoil spring in there and call it a day. All right, with all that, let's get into the numbers. The bushing ID was 583. The barrel OD was 5802 for a difference of 0.0028, so almost 3 thousandths. The slide ID was 0.7004. The bushing OD was 0.69875 for a difference of 0.00165, so just over 1.5 thousandths. The bushing could be turned with your fingers easily. Excuse me. The bushing had 0 fore and aft movement when the gun's in battery, which is excellent. I did find that the bearing surface on the barrel is quite a bit longer than what I would personally prefer, but hey, that's the way they build the guns. Barrel hood to breech face gap was 3 thousandths. The chamber depth was 0.898, and we did experience some failures to feed off of the top of the magazine when we first started shooting the gun. I fixed that problem by finish reaming the chamber and by putting a slight chamfer. This gun, because it's a lightweight, because it's aluminum, it has a ramped barrel in there, and so I fixed that by putting a slight chamfer on the edges of the chamber up the sides. I didn't expose any case. There's no danger. There's no worry there. But what happens is, as the case tries to go into the chamber, it will catch on the edge of the chamber. The lip of the round, the brass, will catch on the edge of the chamber. So what I did was I just rounded that out slightly, very slightly, so that the edge of the cartridge can no longer catch the edge of the barrel, and it feeds extremely smooth now. Slide stop pinhole in the frame was 0.203. Slide stop pin diameter was 0.2004 for a difference of just over 2.5 thousandths. The extractor length was 2.242 with 0 fore and aft movement It's a little short for my taste personally, and the hook is touching on the round, but it's got good tension, and when the gun was resprung and held properly, the gun extracted extremely well. The ejector length is .994, kind of in between stock, Colt, and extended. This gun had approximately 30% bearing surface on both barrel legs. Now that's going to go away eventually because it's an aluminum framed gun, but it was encouraging to see that this particular sample, right out of the box, had barrel fit. Slide stop link hole was .204. The barrel leg height was .097 with a link bridge thickness of .0955. That's a difference of 1.5 thousandths, .0015. There was no barrel bump, which was good. The slide way width was .7494, and this is where it gets a little hairy. The frame rail width varied. On the front, it was .7446. On the rear, it was .7462. And in between, it was all over the place. Like all over. It wasn't tapered, like some that we see. It was just various measurements. So I kind of averaged it out for you guys. The front side-to-side play was .0048, so almost 5 thousandths, and the rear was .0032, so right at 3 thousandths. The slide way height was .10375, and the frame rail height was .1005 for a difference of .00325, so just over 3 thousandths up and down on the first measurement, and the slide rail height was .1185 everywhere except for the rear back corner, which was .1195. Maybe that's an anomaly. It tapered. The frame way height was .1125, so there we have a difference of a solid 4 thousandths. We're just going to call it 4. So the gun does have a little bit of up and down play in the slide to frame. It's not terrible. If you add the measurements up, it's only over approximately 3.25 thousandths. Much better than some of the other guns that we've seen, especially guns that cost 3 times this amount of money. Vertical frame impact surface is .564, and the barrel vis measures .575. Now we saw this on the previous Wan Desson. I'm not exactly sure why they're doing that, unless maybe they are preparing for the vis to move back because it's an aluminum frame gun. But I will tell you that you can see on the barrel hood right here on the front, it's rubbing very hard and heavy. It's not unusual to see some rubbing there, but for it to rub so hard and heavy means that the barrel is not able to get down and out of the way of the frame before the slide starts coming back. So that could potentially be an issue from a mechanic standpoint down the road, depending on how much the gun is shot. All right, the trigger pull. The trigger pull on these guns is amazing. It's really good. They have a little bit more pre-travel than I would like, but the overall pull of the trigger is fabulous. It stands at 3 pounds 10 ounces. It has a 23-pound mainspring. The disconnector is an unmodified drop-in part at 1.3025, and it's not completely unmodified. They did polish the black oxide off of it, which is nice, but for the most part it's unmodified. The sear appears to be an unmodified drop-in part at 775. And the hammer hooks are not dressed for over travel or bump, and they measure 18 thousandths. It's a very nice hammer. It's very similar to the hammer that we use on our WMGs, but it's dropped in. So yeah, overall impressions of this gun, I really like it. These are, Wan Desson is making a great gun, and if I was in the market to spend $1,500 on a single stack 1911, I most definitely would consider one of these very, very seriously. I think there's a lot of bang for the buck here, and these lightweight guns have, minus a couple of minor things that could be easily fixed, these lightweight guns have really impressed me with their numbers. I'm Joe Chambers with Chambers Custom. This has been 1911 University's Mathematical Review. Thank you for watching, and remember, math don't lie. 3.14 is always pi.